Hi guys, and welcome to another batch of your replays. Recently I put up a couple of great tier 8 German games on the channel, and today we're going for tier 9s. We've got two tier 9 German games for you today. First one is from Saljin in the E-50. Here on Sand River. It's a 53%er, but it's a very tier 10 game. So he's a tier 9 in a tier 10 game, in a game that's pretty close, 53%. We are going to go. Now, the E-50 is a tier 9 German medium tank, and I've always liked this tank. Again, it was my first tier 9 medium tank because I went up the Germans first when I first started playing World of Tanks. I've got a soft spot for this tank as well, even when it wasn't very good. The tank has been buffed since I was originally playing it. I still like this tank. I like its versatility. It may not be the fastest, most maneuverable medium tank, but it's got very nice DPM. It's accurate, it's got armor, it can angle, it can bounce shots. But basically, it's a pretty versatile tank. Now, Saljin's moving up into a very strong position on this tank, or on this map. Object 140 got really unlucky. He's been tracked 3 times so far. And Saljin's able to do his first damage, and that Object 430 had a very good game. Now, something was spotting them. The AMX 1390 gets hit in the side. Saljin decides not to poke out. But this position is incredibly strong if you're in a medium tank, and he's just spotted an E-75, goes for a track shot or a lower glacis shot. Unfortunately, it bounces. Now, sometimes the penetration on the gun on the tank will let you down. It's only got 220mm of penetration, 390 alpha damage. It's got a reload of about 8 seconds, or 8.1 in Saljin's case, but you saw he bounced on the E-75, he bounced on the Centurion, and now he's bounced on the E-75 again. The penetration, it does seem to let you down quite a bit on this tank, sometimes. But hopefully that's the end of the bad bounces for Saljin, because this is a very high damage game. Letting the cat out of the bag there. So he's just looking for shots. T-54, and there we go. He bounces the T-54, he gets a nice shot in. Unfortunate not to track the T-54, but meanwhile an E-100 has come flanking. So Saljin's looking for shots. He goes for what looked like a snapshot on the track, and pens very well, quite lucky shot considering the angle the E-100's at. That one fails to pen. So again, he's just looking for targets of opportunity. He does have a shot on the viewfinder, but not much of one. Decides not to take it. But now that the danger to his left is gone, he can start focusing on the tanks up in the middle of the map again. And he gets a beautiful track shot on the E-75. Really nice shot. Tracks the E-75 in place. He's got the rate of fire to get another shot in, but unfortunately that E-75 retreats. But Saljin has actually tracked him again. So, nice shot in. He's going for those track shots, not going to let that E-75 move anywhere. And yeah, E-75 must definitely have a repair crew on that tank. Unfortunately, kill is denied, but in the meantime a T-54 E1 is showing his side. So Saljin's up to 2.2k damage so far. He has just been proxy spotted by the IS-7. Waits till he drops off radar. That T-54 E1 is running for it. You can see that the alpha damage is very nice on this tank. Rate of fire is nice. It is only the penetration that lets you down, because it's also a very accurate gun. So T-54 continues to advance. Really don't know what his game was, but he pays the price. He dies. There's Saljin's first kill. It takes him up to almost 3k damage, and now he's got to focus on the tanks to his right. So 2 tier 10 heavies, Jagdpanzer E-100, T-30 have been spotted. A lot of dangerous tanks. He's looking for shots on the T-30. Just doesn't have an angle on him. And now a 268 has appeared. So a lot of big dangerous guns sitting in front of Saljin, so he needs to be careful with his pokes. Goes for a shot in the lower glacis of the 268. Unfortunately, it doesn't pen. And now he's looking for more shots. Unfortunately, doesn't get a shot in the T-49. Needs the T-49 to retreat. Now, the interesting thing about the E-50 is that the gun depression to the front of the tank is not fantastic. But the gun depression to the side is much higher. So, in order to get your gun on target and to get the most gun depression, you need to actually expose the weakest part of your armor and give the side to your enemy. So that was a very nice poke, a very opportunistic kill on the T-54. That's Saljin's second kill. He's up to 3.1k damage. And now his T-49 decides to advance. And don't interrupt tanks when they're making mistakes. So there is kill number 3, 3.5k damage. So T-30 advances, he's going for Saljin. Look at that, he angles, and the E-50 definitely has armor. Sometimes it plays a lot more like a heavy tank. You can angle it, and Saljin's able to get the reload, get another shot in, take out the T-30 for kill number 4. So sometimes the E-50 plays almost like a heavy tank. It's got the armor. Unfortunately, that shot bounces. I think Saljin was going for a track shot on the Jagdpanzer E-100. And once again, penetration has let him down a little bit. So E-100s continue to advance. Saljin gets a shot in just as the E-100 gets into cover. Unfortunately, he takes his first damage of the game. A Leopard 2 snipes him from the middle. It's a little bit of a standoff. All the tanks in the south of the map are dead. Saljin's team only have tanks in the north of the map. And they're very dangerous tanks. So Jagdpanzer E-100 does proxy spot him. And Saljin's going to poke the corner. He knows the Jagdpanzer E-100's on a reload. He goes for a shot in the lower glacis, gets it in. So that may have been dangerous, but he knew what he was doing. He knew that the object had died. He knew that the Jagdpanzer E-100 had just fired. He knew he had the reload beaten. Was able to poke out, do some more damage. That takes him up to 5k damage. E-100's coming back, and once again that poor penetration. Saljin misses his track shot, and now they're being capped. Now the only tank that could possibly be capping is the Leopard, and there are very few tanks who are going to be able to reset that cap. You can see the Waffenträger's moving back. But Saljin decides to go for the Jagdpanzer. Takes him out for kill number 5. And he does have shots on the side of the turret on the E-100. And even though I've been complaining about the penetration, you've seen it bouncing a lot of shots. Side of the turret of the E-100. Easy penetrations. And for some reason this E-100 seems to have gone AFK or quit. And Saljin's not going to say no to free damage. That's a very cheeky 1,000 damage into the side of the E-100. Saljin takes him out for kill number 6. There's his top gun. They're still being capped, but 3 tanks have now gone back to stop cap. So Saljin's moving up. He's going to be looking for shots on the Object 263. Oh, maybe he's going to try and get the Leopard. 2 enemy tanks left. Saljin's on 6 kills, 6.4k damage. And the Leopard goes down. So just 1 tank left, no Bradley opportunity for Saljin. Most he can get out of this game now is 7 kills. He knows that the object was last spotted to his left. He's probably still advancing, so Saljin's advancing. He's going to try and get the object from behind. And there we go. So nice shot. And the object's turning around. I probably would have tried to close the distance if that was me, but he's angled. Unfortunately, at a bad angle, object is able to pen him. He's going for the lower glacis. Needs the shot. Gets the kill. No, he doesn't get the kill. The AMX-50 120 nicks it. So not surprisingly, it was an ace tanker for Saljin. He also picked up high caliber and top gun. I really need to play the E-50 more. I've got a very good crew in my E-50, but I just never seem to get around to playing it. 1734, a huge XP game. He was shooting a lot of tier 10s in that game. Really, really nice game, Saljin. 7.3k damage, 6 kills. He fired 31, he hit 30. You can see that the gun is accurate. He only managed to pen 23. The penetration on the gun will let you down, but it's still a very, very good gun. It's got a nice rate of fire. He spotted 4, damaged 11, destroyed 6, did 367 assistance damage, and finished up earning 37,000 credits with a premium account. 2,601 XP on a ×3 event with a bonus thrown in, left him on a huge 9,103. Really, really nice game. Pretty much showcasing the strengths and weaknesses of the E-50. Well done, Saljin. MKDudu in another tier 9 game. This time he's in the E-75. We're sticking with the tier 9 Germans today. He is here on Ruinberg. It is a 61%er. It's another tier 10 game, but there are only 3 tier 10s on either side. But being a 61%er, it pays to be aggressive in a game like this. Usually when the odds are in your favor and you're in a top tier tank, you really should be a little bit more aggressive. I find I get better results when I am. But the E-75, again, another tank that's always going to have a place in my heart because it was my second tier 9 heavy tank. The VK4502B was my first one. I'm not going to explain why, but I do like the E-75, and it's a tank I didn't play very well, if I'm honest. I know it's a fantastic tank, but when I first started playing the tank, I had a lot of very, very poor games in it, and mainly down to the fact I wasn't that experienced a player. I didn't do the tank justice. More recent games, I do a lot better in the tank. But E-75, really, really well armored, tier 9 heavy, and I really do recommend this tank if you like playing heavy tanks. There are very few tier 9 tanks in the game, or heavy tanks, that are as good. Really, really well armored, but you have to know how to angle. And MKDudu is being aggressive. T-57 heavy goes down. MKDudu's up to 1,000 damage, but he is going to be moving up on an IS-7 now. Very, very tricky customer for an E-75 from the front. Thankfully, he's already taking damage, but you can see that MKDudu is angling. His gun does have enough penetration to pen the IS-7 if the IS-7 is showing his lower glacis, and he is. So again, angling. Maybe a little bit over-angling, but he angles. And there we go, another bounce. IS-7 is retreating, and MKDudu goes for the track shot. So again, he's angling. And unfortunately, a friendly tank nudges him, puts his aim off. And MKDudu just tracks that IS-7 yet again. That IS-7 is going absolutely nowhere. You really have to know how to angle to get the best out of the E-75, and it looks as if MKDudu knows what he's doing. So, nice shot on the IS-3, goes for the lower glacis, but probably didn't need to. And there we go, his tracks eat the shot. So, he hasn't taken a single point of damage yet. He's up to 2k damage himself, hasn't taken any damage. And puts another shot into the IS-3. Nice high roll of 585. So his team are being aggressive, MKDudu's being aggressive, he's moving up. And there we go, because he wasn't going for the lower glacis than the IS-7. Unfortunately, that's his first miss of the game, or first bad miss. So 2.5k damage, 1 kill, and he is being very aggressive. But he realizes that his team are charging into the enemy cap. And there are very few tanks defending middle, there are very few tanks defending his spawn. So he's decided to go back. He's keeping an eye on the mini-map. Nice map awareness. That Centurion in the middle is asking for help. He is alone against a lot of enemy tanks. And it's dangerous because there was an Object 704 last spotted on this middle road. MKDudu comes around the corner at an angle. No sign of the 704. And you notice he's not driving in a straight line, he's driving at an angle. Looking to where the next possible target is. Goes for a snapshot on the M48 Patton. That was a little bit unfortunate. But the Patton gets tracked, and now this is dangerous because MKDudu is advancing into the open. If those tanks in the north had been paying attention, he could have taken a lot of damage, but the 704 and the Tortoise have retreated to defend. And MKDudu is in a position to flank them. They're not looking his way, but there we go. Tortoise in the north of the map gets a big shot in. That is not a tank you want shooting at you. He's giving the side of his turret. The Tortoise is eating him alive, so he retreats. He tries to put some wrecks between himself and the Tortoise. He can't really deal with the tanks in the north. Lots of TDs while the Tortoise is shooting him in the side of the turret. So again, he's looking for shots, trying to get the Tortoise. But most of the tanks that went around to the enemy spawn are friendly tanks who went around to the enemy spawn are dead. The gun is not that accurate. You can see how wide that shot went. He didn't have much to aim at on the Tortoise, but unfortunately the shot goes really wide. And now this gun barrel is going to cause him problems. He's trying to get shots past the gun barrel, aiming for the weak spot in the Tortoise. And there we go, hits the gun barrel. Very, very risky shot to take. So all of a sudden this was looking like a very comfortable game, and now it's not. The score is 11-11. MKDudu uses his repair kit, fixes his tracks, Tortoise is bouncing, gets a shot in, leaves the Tortoise on 41 health. So just a lot of very dangerous TDs left on the enemy team. So aiming carefully, goes for the weak spot, takes out the Tortoise. That was an important kill. That puts MKDudu up to almost 4k damage, 3 kills. And there's a Jagdtiger, a Waffenträger, and a Tortoise left up here. And MKDudu's at a really, really bad angle. His RT is relocating. He's telling his team he's relocating. But if MKDudu gets spotted, it could be a very, very quick game for him. So thankfully T-54 takes out the Jagdtiger. His team are giving him a little bit of abuse, but really, he covered their asses. He took out the danger in the middle of the map. So, he knows there's a Tortoise to his left, he knows there's a Waffenträger to his front. He's advancing. He needs to distract the Tortoise so that the T-54 can flank. You can see he knows that. He's clicking on the T-54, telling him to be ready. Where is the Tortoise? I am surprised he has not spotted the Tortoise. Looking for the Waffenträger. and has spotted him, and the Waffle Tracker's on low health. So MKDudu's able to turn around. He fired in third person. Wow, really lucky shot. Gets the kill. I probably would not have risked a third person shot in a situation like this, but what do I know? So just one enemy tank left. The Tortoise, he has to be here somewhere. His team are saying cap. 6 minutes left of this game. It is quite risky. Tortoise is on a lot of health. Tortoise has been spotted straight down the road, so MKDudu's advancing. He's trying to stay at an angle, keeping Rex between himself and the Tortoise. He's got shots on the Commander's cupola, gets one shot in, rolls quite low. So while the T-54 is capping and putting pressure on cap, MKDudu is just going to try and work on the Tortoise. Fortunately, it's not the most accurate of guns. He misses. So he's using the wreck. He's hiding his lower glacis. He's angled. Tortoise bounces. And MKDudu, I think that was meant to be a track shot, but he gets a nice shot in through the lower glacis. And the Tortoise has switched to gold. So even though MKDudu was perfectly angled, the Tortoise was able to pen him frontally through the turret. Again, another rush shot, and it was a miss. T-54 decides to go for a flank. Surprised he didn't do it before now, but Tortoise is looking this way. MKDudu is flanking, or is angling. Finishes off the Tortoise for kill number 5 and 5.1k damage. So a really tense game at the end there. It could have gone either way, but thankfully MKDudu and his T-54 teammate were able to pull the result out. It was an ace tanker along with a high caliber. MKDudu finished up with 1501 XP, 5,169 damage and 5 kills, and that was a really good example of how you absolutely have to angle the E-75 to get the best out of the tank. He fired 22, hit 17 and penned 16. The penetration on the gun is good, the alpha damage is good, but maybe the accuracy lets it down a little bit. He did receive 10 hits and bounced 4, but his tracks also ate quite a few shots. He's damaged 7, destroyed 5 and did 1725 assistance damage thanks to his track shots. He earned 40,000 credits on a premium account for that game. Wasn't firing any premium. Really nice credit total in a tier 9 heavy. 2,251 XP. Wasn't the first game of the day, but a bonus was thrown in, leaving him on 3,376 XP. So I want to thank MKDudu and Saljin for sending those replays in. I really enjoyed them, and I hope you guys at home did too. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.